Hi, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Mary.
Welcome to Nevada Trails. And we here at Nevada Trails just want to say thanks to the Pine Nut Mountain Trails Association and the Brewery Arts Center for supporting the show.
Yes. And we here at Nevada Trails like to show you all kinds of different forms of activities done in Nevada.
And how to do them in a safe and responsible way.
Yes.
And today we're going to be talking to Keith Averill about a wilderness proposal in Dayton and Lyon County areas.
And we're going to be checking out the Monster Jam monster trucks also. This is Nevada Trails.
It's time to get revved up for the most exciting off-road event in Nevada. The Virginia City Motorcycle Club is proud to present the Grand Prix at Virginia City, an epic motorcycle race in the heart of the Old West. Starting on Main Street, the race twists and turns through the historic mountain town, through the hills, down the canyons, and back again. Bring your friends, bring your family, because there's no place more fun than the Grand Prix at Virginia City, April 26th and 27th. For more information and registration, go to vcgp.com. Are you tough enough?
And we're here with Keith Averill, a outdoorsman, avid outdoorsman. Thanks for coming in there, Keith.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in, Keith.
Thanks, Mary.
An avid outdoorsman, and just kind of got this wilderness thing. You and Emery Thrawn
Right.
spearheading the fight against this wilderness area. Is that correct?
We're a couple of local people that just enjoy, motorcycling, mountain biking, camping, taking our families and friends. We just enjoy the outdoors a lot.
Uh-huh. And then, so Emery kind of started a group too, which is the
Coalition for Public Access.
Okay.
And this group is just started I think it's 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the membership's actually over 700 already.
Wow.
There's a lot of people jumping on board onto this Coalition for Public Access.
So before this came up, you were just the average Joe.
I was the average
out
Joe.
there riding his bike
That's
or doing
right.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And Keith, you also said that this is also a grassroots club also?
Yeah, that's a local club. That's not a huge national thing. The Coalition for Public Access it's a small local thing here in northern Nevada that was started as the result of this proposal that we're going to be talking about.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the proposal I stumbled into through a friend of mine, and what they're doing, there's 2 actually nonprofit organizations that are proposing to have huge chunks of land designated as wilderness. And first, before I describe it, I'd like to say that I don't oppose wilderness. In certain places, I really agree with it.
I've hunted in wilderness areas.
Yeah, we feel the same.
Yeah.
But where these groups are wrong in proposing this is they're trying to take this wilderness designation and close people out of areas that they've been enjoying and recreating in for years.
Yeah.
And that's really what has never been the intention of Congress when they passed the Wilderness Act in 1964.
Uh-huh.
So they're actually 2 small little nonprofit organizations that just need something to do so they can keep their jobs and stuff. So they have to kind of keep busy and
Well, they get paid by
make
the hour
proposals.
to do that.
But I've actually met with both organizations, and they're smart, intelligent guys.
Uh-huh.
But I think they're just misguided in really what they should be doing. I should add that for the most part, they're not local Nevada people either.
Yeah.
They're from out of state, from out east, from various states.
And we went to the Senate this year, and that was kind of the story. Basically, the people that wanted to kick the mechanized use out of wilderness areas was pretty much from out of the area.
And usually they are, typically, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wilderness, you hit on. I was going to talk. What does wilderness mean? Well, in 1964, Congress said, let's establish certain remote, kind of really out of the ordinary, pristine type of areas as wilderness, so that we don't have, we don't have motorcycles in there, we don't have trucks, jeeps,
mountain
that
bikes.
kind of stuff. And I agree with some wilderness areas, but wilderness really by definition, and I have the definition here by Congress, it doesn't allow any mechanized travel, so there's no jeeps, no motorcycles, no mountain bikes, no trailers.
Yeah. I won't be hang gliding over it.
No.
Can't pick you up if you go down in there.
It's really the highest form of land regulation.
Yeah.
And if you get caught doing that in wilderness area, it's serious trouble. So wilderness areas is supposed to be designated as, out there areas that are going to be preserved really for future generations. So one of the main things I have with this proposal that these groups have is they're taking this wilderness designation and trying to close out things of people that have been going there for years.
That have been doing this in these areas.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And one of the definitions is that these areas are not to be areas that have the imprint of man's work. Well, if there's roads and cell sites and existing trails and all that, obviously that's man's work.
Exactly.
So by the very definition of wilderness, a lot of the area that they're proposing does not fit the definition.
And last year there was a wilderness put through? A
Yeah, a
wilderness
large
area,
one.
I guess? 170,000 acres or something
Out
like
by
that?
Ely, right, the White
And
Pine Wilderness.
Harry Reid and John Ensign, so it's not a party-specific thing. It's kind of popular, whoever they think is...
Yeah, I think a lot of the politicians, they're out in D.C., and I don't really foresee Harry Reid or
Going out to any
going
place,
out
is
to
it?
Wilson Canyon.
And
anytime
checking
soon.
it out, yeah, probably not.
Exactly.
So the people that ultimately pass these things, it really doesn't affect them
They've
at all.
never seen it, they're never going to see
They
it.
never will.
Uh-huh.
And I'd also like to add that when we go out to some of these areas, like for instance Wilson Canyon, we ride our dirt bikes out there. I have never seen hikers out there.
Yeah.
Never. You just don't see. It's not a hiking area.
No. I've been out there. And
It's jeeps. It's rugged. It's desolate. It's just not an enjoyable hiking area.
Exactly. And then now also, one of the things I see is that they put in these small anchor things, the wilderness areas, and then they build on them.
That's their tactic.
And extend, the next year or whatever to try to outgrow their boundaries.
Exactly. Just to keep adding on.
Acquiring more, yeah.
So I guess, why don't you tell us a little bit about the proposal, where everything's located?
Okay. Well, we're sitting here in Carson City tonight, and two of the mountaintops that they're talking about is just south and east of Dayton. So, Raw Peak and also Lion Peak. And I was out there just a few days ago. Just south, basically just on the outskirts of Dayton.
Which actually, Como, so it's like the bridge, you go over the bridge at the stoplight in Dayton, and then there's that little dirt pit out there, you take that road out there,
And
go up the road, and it's right there.
Yeah, and the Pine Nuts, to me, it's some of the best motorcycle riding
Mountain
in the
biking.
country, and mountain biking. There's awesome trails out there, have been for years. They're having a District 36 National Enduro out this year. To have any wilderness area in the Pine Nuts makes me very, very, very nervous, because what their tactic is they'll get some, and then next year or 2 years or 3 years they'll try to expand it. Next thing you know, then they're going
Well, it seems
bigger
that
and
they're
bigger and
working
bigger.
their way around the state with little tiny, we'll take
Right.
this and we'll take that. But I mean, that stuff up there is where the antennas are. Up there in
Yeah, there's a
Dayton,
cell site right on top of Raw Peak. I was out there
which
the other
by
day.
definition makes it not wilderness.
Yeah, I think they have to drive out to that, wouldn't they, in a vehicle?
Exactly.
to,
Well, they have this one little
do
path
maintenance,
through
yeah.
there, you know?
Yeah, for maintenance.
So, and then, so basically there's paths in it. It looks like there's properties. If you go to Raw Peak, there's the path out to the cell site. And then if you go to Lion Peak, it's got...
It's dotted with all kinds of little areas inside of it.
yeah. So, I mean, it's just not a contiguous piece that they're grabbing.
It's not matching their description, I guess, is what it should.
Yeah. And Wilson Canyon, I mean...
Wilson Canyon, yeah, there's a lot of roads through there.
And you went online and you got the maps.
Well, this is where I
the
kind of
Wilderness
caught on to
Project, is that what that
some
was?
of their dirty tactic. The map that they showed on their website, and I have it here,
For Wilson Canyon.
for Wilson Canyon, does not show any roads or trails through it.
Yeah.
However, if you go to the
NV Trail Maps.
NV Trail Maps,
Doug Bram, that was like a government-funded mapping thing.
yeah, there's all kinds of roads and trails through
Okay,
there.
okay.
The reason they put up this map on their website is because that would fit the definition of what wilderness is supposed to be, with no trails and roads and
So
stuff.
basically, you guys are fighting this, and you
Right.
have emerythron@msn.com is the email. If
Yep.
people want to get more information,
That's the
they can go to
best
him.
way, really, the internet. And Emery's building up a good long list of, really, the group is very...
700 people.
700 plus, and that's only been in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
And the Blue Ribbon Coalition is also
Yeah.
involved?
The Blue Ribbon Coalition is a national organization that has a lot of power out in D.C.
Okay.
So if nothing else, you
webpage?
should join the Blue Ribbon. That's the sharetrails.org,
Okay.
Blue Ribbon Coalition.
And the Pine Nut Mountain Trails Association may be involved too.
Those guys, too, have been active and
Okay.
done a lot of work in the Pine Nuts.
And that's envy-trails.org. I should know that one.
The 2 organizations, the one that's really spearheading this is the Nevada Wilderness Project.
Uh-huh.
And the other organization is the Friends of Nevada Wilderness.
Okay. And that's wildnevada.org if you want to go check out and see what they're doing. Who's supporting them? Local businesses. There's a couple, 3 of them on there. Some national businesses.
Check
you
out
might want to
their
check out
website.
the list of businesses and see who you want to support these days. Well, thank you very much for coming out.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks, Mary.
In order to protect our riding opportunities, we've got to tread lightly. That means staying on roads, trails, and areas designated for ATVs. Also, go over, not around trail obstacles to avoid widening trails. And cross rivers slowly, and only at places where the trail crosses the stream. Join the millions of responsible riders who protect our privileges and our natural resources by treading lightly in the outdoors. Visit Tread Lightly at treadlightly.org.
Monster trucks are the best!
So here we are at the Monster Trucks up in Reno. What do you think about the Monster Trucks?
Cool!
Cool. Who's your favorite monster truck?
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. Do you watch Monster Trucks when you're at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like to go out four-wheeling too? Yeah. So there's a pretty emphatic yes from a young man up here at the Monster Trucks. Hope everybody else is enjoying. All right. Jake Munoz with Nevada Trails here with John Seasock, driver of Batman.
Yes, sir.
So what's it like being here in Reno, Nevada? You've been here before?
No, this is my first time in Reno.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome here. I live in Pennsylvania, up in the mountains, hanging out in the trails and, playing on the four-wheelers out there by the lakes and the waterfalls, having a good old time. And I got to Reno this week and been having a blast, man. The scenery's awesome. I'm sitting here looking at the mountains, and it came in, it was a little cold, nice and
a little bit chilly.
Yeah, in the daytime, nice and hot. And when the sun goes down, it gets a little chilly, which is great, though. I mean, that's like how it is back home for me. We got 4 good seasons, and you just love it.
That's what I like about here. We got spring, winter, fall, summer, and I got to say, this is awesome. Me and my family have been coming here, watching you guys for, I bet 20 years now, and this is great. Love getting out in the hills. So what's your medicine for getting out on the hills? Bikes, quads, four-wheeler?
Everything. I have a quad. I have a street bike. I do a lot of stuff. But my biggest thing, I like to chill away from the monster trucks, is we have a waterfalls back by the house. We have a lot of lakes right where I live, and I go out there and hang out by the waterfalls. Me and my boys hop on the four-wheelers, go out there and just kind of chill and relax. And we do a lot of stuff too back home, keeping everything clean, and just like you guys do out here. The country's so beautiful, and people need to get off their butts and get out there in the mountains and see what it's all about. Get out there and have a good time, enjoy your family, enjoy this gift that God gave us.
Get out there and enjoy it, have a good time, and hopefully tonight he's going to do well, and I know we're going to be enjoying it. I want to thank you for your time.
Well, my pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for being
Absolute
here.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. You got to be a gymnast to crawl up in this. I got to find the footholds here. Nope, I think I got one. We're going up. Oh my gosh. Talk about an adrenaline rush, man. I am sitting in the seat of the Batman monster truck. How cool is this? This is incredible. Nice nice equipment up here. You know, the visibility is actually pretty good. I can't imagine being in the seat of this thing with 1,500 horsepower. There's actually a little strap on the accelerator to hold your foot while you're bouncing around, they're saying.
Check this out! In the seat of the Batman monster truck.
Even though these may look miniature compared to their bigger brothers, they are still quite high performance. They have high performance V8s in it typically, and they got some king shock 16-inch suspension, so they can take these jumps. But the average guy can get in there and build their own vehicle and still get out of a good time.
Hi, I'm Randy Avery, here with my 2000 Jeep TJ that's hand-built, custom for pro stadium truck racing. That's all I do with it. I've been pretty fortunate that it's holding up pretty good. I'm the winner of the last 2 events. There's 2 more to go. I've got one tonight, one tomorrow. I just ran the fastest qualifying time, and hopefully I'll take 4 consecutive wins.
We're out here Monster Jam having a good time. The boys love it. This is our 2nd year in a row. Cole, who's your favorite monster truck out here?
Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder. Caden, who's your favorite? Do you like Gravedigger? Gravedigger. I like the Ninja Turtle myself.
Hi, my name's Tim Schaefer. This is my race truck. It's a Chevy S10 Pro Arena truck. The name is Midlife Madness. I've been racing now for 12 to 14 years. I've fabricated and built the whole truck myself. Nobody works on this truck but my buddies that I race with and my painter, the one that painted my truck. Up front, I'm running 31 950 tires. Nice narrow tire, gets you through the mud really, really well. My shocks, I'm running King shocks in the front with 16 inches of wheel travel and 10-bolt Chevy front end. Pretty low budget truck, but I still have quite a bit into it.
It's time for Ranger Joe Cypher.
All right, I am here with Ranger Joe. So, too cool. Thank you for being here. Why don't you tell us about your truck?
Oh, the Airborne Ranger is the world's first hand-controlled monster truck. I control it primarily with my hands. I have a handle in there. I push forward for the brake, pull down for the throttle. I have a toggle switch for my forefinger that works the rear steering, a thumb button for the air shifter, and then my right hand just stays on the front steer wheel.
too. You do all your own work on this, right?
Yeah, I've done my own work on this chassis. Believe it or not, this chassis was the original Bounty Hunter when I bought it. I bought it from out of Dixon, Illinois, from a guy named Brian Bellini, who was the original owner of the Bounty Hunter. And we changed the name instantly. Some of the safety features, of course, the RII is a remote ignition interrupter, and that they use. They can shut down the motor if we get out of control, or if they see something that we don't. Because your visibility it's really hard to see out of a monster truck. You need a real good, clear track to be able to perform it with nobody standing around, for safety. So
this is too cool. You born and raised in Nevada or in Reno here. What do you think about living here?
Oh, I love Reno. I mean, I wouldn't want to have been born anywhere else. Excuse me, sorry. Reno's my hometown. Reno's my love, and I mean, we'll go out of state and go to other states, but we love it when we come back into Nevada. So.
This is cool. We sure appreciate it. I've been rooting for you for quite a while now. I'm like, I know you've been racing for 10, 15 years, so 14 years now. But I want to thank you for your time. This has been great. Airborne Ranger. All right.
Hi, my name is Denise Bill. I'm the crew chief for the Airborne Ranger monster truck. I consider myself one of the first women crew chiefs out there. There are some out there that go out there and do the crew stuff, but I get down and dirty in there. I'd like to also mention the Ranger Joe Mobility Foundation.org. It's a foundation that we've started, Ranger Joe, for disabled children. Helps aid, with any help they need, wheelchairs, shower chairs, ramps, etc.
Hello, this is Ray from Nevada Trails. We're here in a very local, fairly well-known monster truck, the Airborne Ranger. He's right here out of Reno, and here to show you a little bit about the inside of the cockpit on this truck, a little bit about how it works. This truck's very special. The fellow that drives this is paralyzed from the waist down, so all of his controls for the whole truck is done by hand, which is phenomenal that he can do that. This right here is his brake pedal and his gas pedal. When you pull this down, that's the throttle. That controls the fuel injection system on this truck. That's the go pedal. When you push this lever forward like that, that's the brakes on this truck. That does all the stopping. That's all the controls for stopping and going in this truck he has. Now this switch right here, if you can see it, is the rear steer on this truck. The rear axle can steer independently of the front axle. And if you push or pull the switch, it makes the truck turn left or right. Safety in these monster trucks is of the utmost importance. Anytime you go to these shows, they're extremely safe. They're trying to make sure that everybody in the crowd's safe, that nobody's going to get hurt. That is their number one priority. The first thing we got is this right here, if you can see it. This is the controller. This controller here is linked to the race officials, and this truck will actually shut the ignition. These have magnetos in them, but it'll shut the magneto off in the truck if you say it's running wild towards a crowd, or if the driver gets knocked out or something catastrophic happens. A race official can shut this truck down so nobody has a possibility of getting hurt. And we'd like to thank Ranger Joe for giving us the opportunity to give him the interview a little bit earlier, and letting us have a look at his truck and show you guys what this is all about. We'd also like to thank Live Nation for letting us come out tonight and film this for you and show you what the Monster Jam's all about. And we really appreciate you watching Nevada Trails.
I'm Trevor Nicholson, and I'm here at Monster Jam. I want to thank Nevada Trails for coming on out and having a great time. Thanks, Nevada Trails.
For those of you that are out there operating your ATVs or your motorcycles, if you should have some kind of mishap where you need our support and you have a GPS unit on hand, the UTM latitude, longitude coordinates you give are really a very valuable tool for us to be able to navigate to you as soon as possible. But again, relative location to a town or to a mountain or some geographic figure, any type of information that can be provided certainly helps us to enable us to get to your location expeditiously.
We are a medical helicopter, so our mission is to go out and retrieve patients that is either a trauma victim or have any kind of medical condition where they're in the back country. So when we need to know from people that when we come out to is what type of an injury and how many victims might we have. If there's more than one victim, we can launch 1, 2, or 3, or even more helicopters if we need to. So it's important to know the type of injury, the amount of patient that we may have to pick up, so we have an idea when we get out there.
I'm frequently told when I see people on a casual basis that I'm not someone they would like to encounter in a professional manner. Nobody really wants to see us if we're going to be putting them in the helicopter and taking them to the hospital. A few tips to make sure that you're able to be safe when you go out and have fun on Nevada trails. Make sure that you always wear your protective clothing. It's surprising to me how many people I can pick up who didn't have something as simple as a helmet on. If you're dirt biking, make sure that you have your chest protector, the protective pants, your riding boots, your helmet. You're a lot less likely to encounter us if you have even just a minor fall if you have your protective gear on. Also, to be sure that you're safe, make sure that people know where you're going, where to find you, when you should come home, and make sure that you travel in a group. It's not a good idea to be doing dangerous activities by yourself. It's best to have a group of 3 people so that if something does happen, you can send someone for help and not be left alone injured.
And I just want to say thanks again to the Pine Nut Mountain Trails Association and the Brewery Arts Center for supporting the show, and want to remind everybody about the Pine Nut Mountain Trails Association's monthly meetings, which are the first Thursday of every month, and that's at the Round Table Pizza down at Topsy Lane, south end of Carson City, and they're the ones fighting the wilderness proposals that we're talked about tonight.
And our website is nv-trails.org.
And you can also check out the webcast at nvtrails.bactv.org.
And our email is tv@nv-trails.org.
And if you have anything going on, local clubs, did an archery shoot this last weekend, music for some of the videos, stuff like that, go ahead and send us your music, information, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And thanks for watching Nevada Trails.